The legend of Victor Hensley, a genius caught in the shadows. Let me tell you a story that's been whispered about in dark corners, passed along in hushed tones, and left untouched in the pages of history. It's the tale of a man, a genius, whose brilliance became both his blessing and his curse. His name, Victor Hensley. Now, Victor wasn't your average mind. No, he was the kind of person who could solve problems that others couldn't even see. He could look at the world, break it apart, and reassemble it in ways that seemed to defy logic. He was the kind of genius who could create machines that bent the very rules of nature, but, as it is with all great minds, his brilliance didn't go unnoticed. You see, there are forces in this world, shadowy figures, powerful organizations, that will do anything to control people like Victor. They saw him not as a person, but as a tool, an asset to be used, twisted, and manipulated. And that's where his story begins. Victor Hensley lived a quiet life once. He had a family he cared for deeply, a wife, children, a peaceful home. His passion was invention, and he spent his days tinkering in his workshop, creating machines that could change the world. He didn't care much for fame or fortune. All he wanted was to build, to push the limits of what was possible. But when you're that good, people start to take notice. It started small, discreet phone calls, secret meetings, men in suits who would ask, then demand for his knowledge. But Victor resisted. He wanted nothing to do with their games. His work was for the betterment of humanity, not for some shadowy organization's twisted ambitions, but the world doesn't let brilliance go unnoticed for long. One fateful night, the knock came at his door, the knock that would change everything. He opened it to find armed agents, their faces masked with cold authority. Before he could react, they overwhelmed him. The world he knew vanished in an instant. They came for everything, his home, his family, his life. They erased it all. In an instant, they tore apart the fabric of his world, leaving him with nothing but his intellect and the cold, harsh walls of a high-security facility. Victor was trapped, but they underestimated him. He might have lost everything he loved, but he was still Victor Hensley, and he was not one to be taken lightly.